Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm just going to show you how to do a full oil change on a 2020 Can-Am 850. Pretty self-explanatory. We're going to do the front diff, we're going to do the engine oil, and we're also going to do the gearbox, and then we're going to do the rear diff. I was going to use 040 here because it is winter time. You're supposed to use 540, but it is what it is. And then 75 140, that's going to go into the rear diff. And then 7590 is going to go into the front diff. And I also do believe that 75 140 goes into the gearbox as well. I'll have to double check before I do that. But this is just going to be your very quick, right to the point video, so you don't have to start skipping and all that bullshit that most people do on YouTube to make you get watch time. So let's just jump right into it. So just before we start here, I'm just going to start on the tools that you're probably going to need. So we got 10 millimeter, a 12 millimeter, a 15, 17, 6 millimeter Allen wrench, 5 millimeter Allen wrench, and a 13 millimeter socket. Probably an extension if you need one, ratchet obviously, and I think that's about it. So we're just going to start here on the front diff. This is on the passenger side if you're looking at the bike here. So here is the fill plug. And then the drain plug is up underneath. So that's going to be your 6 millimeter Allen key. And then up underneath in this hole here, I know you can't see, but inside there's a 5 millimeter Allen key as well. Kind of sits on a weird angle, but you can get it. I'll see if I can. There you go. You should be able to see it. Oh, and also, this is the first oil change. This is probably going to avoid my warranty putting this on YouTube. But anyways, so it's got 1,100 kilometers on it. I know it's not perfect. You're supposed to do that. You break it. We're going to figure it out right now. See how bad it was for it by not doing it. But anyways, we also have 60 hours for the first. Oh, and also, just so you guys know, I did pre-crack all the plugs. I'm not gonna sit here and try and struggle cracking nuts and stuff like that. It's just for convenience. Quick, get in, get out, and get riding again. Here's the drain plug for the front diff. There she goes. No, still actually pretty freaking clear, not gonna lie. Not bad, not bad. So here's the rear diff plug for the front. I don't know if it's, come on camera. There's really nothing on it. You guys know how much I've used my four-wheel drive already on this thing. So that's pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit, but for a first change, look at that. That's all that was on there. Then when it's all done draining out, you just put her back up in there and tighten it up. Or don't go too tight with it. They're just aluminum. You don't want to strip those threads in there. And now we're going to fill up the front diff. So I guess for filling the front diff, they say you're supposed to go all the way up to the top here until it starts flowing out. And then you know it's completely full. But they say the rear diff is only 300 milliliters, which will put it to about here, roughly, on the fill line in the rear diff. You might want to do your own research on that and double check that, but that's just kind of what I read online. People say that they've filled it up to the fill hole, have got leaks in their diff. Some people say they haven't had leaks in their diff, so I don't know what to go with. I'm probably just gonna go somewhere in between. I'd assume is safe, but anyways, let's fill this up. So this is Royal Purple 7590 for the front diff. I didn't have the Can-Am oil in my small town. They don't keep it in stock, so this is the best we got. So you're just gonna put it in there and gonna squeeze it until the oil starts dripping out the fill hole here. Should be, I think they said 500 in the front. 500 milliliters. And I keep the little spout at the top so that way you don't plug it off by sticking it all the way in there. And then you'll see exactly when the oil comes out. Let's see. Alright, so you can see it still dripping out there just every little so slightly. I think she's full. Got about, so there's about that much left in the bottle. But I think that's her. There you see how it's just barely coming out. She's all topped up. So I'm just gonna let it run for another minute. Let it drip off completely level, and then I'll just take this 6mm plug and just put her back in. Good to go. I think we're going to drop the oil next. It says it's going to be 3 quarts, and unfortunately all we had was 3 quarts of 040. So I am going to assume that I'm going to need another bottle just to top it up, because I don't think that includes the oil filter, but that's okay. We're not riding. I don't think we're riding anytime soon, so I'll have plenty of time. Just gotta make sure I check it before I go out. But yeah, let's drop the oil next. Well, kind of a stupid design that they got, but the oil drain plug is right there. And there's no way you can get your fingers to it from the side so you don't drip oil all over your fingers. So there's only one way to do that. This is the 17mm. Yeah, that one's a little bit more dark. That definitely needed to get changed. So this is the drain plug. You can see that there's barely, really no shavings on it at all. But that's not too bad actually for a first time oil change. So now we're just going to put the plug back in and then fill it up through the dipstick. So here's the old filter. None of it's sucked in or anything like that, so not too shabby. And then here's the new one. And then that just goes right there. Right there, it's just 3 little bolts. And then just make sure that the rubber side goes first, like that. And then double check to make sure that your O-ring's still on there. And you're good to go. Well, I lost my funnel, so I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But anyways, put your oil where the dipstick goes. And then after you add the oil, just start it up and give it a couple of revs. And then check your oil level again. Hard to see, but it's a little bit low. It's just above those numbers there. So we just gotta add a little bit more. And it's right in the middle. It's pretty much right where you want it. Gives a little bit of breathing room, maybe even 3/4. But yeah, no, that's perfect. Oil change is done. Just double check to make sure your filter's tight and your drain plug's tight. You're good to go. Now we're gonna do the rear diff next. So don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that little hex bolt there, or Allen key, sorry, is the drain, and then that one there is the fill plug. Pretty sure. I'm gonna pull that little plug first and see if anything comes out. Moment of truth. I'll just get some on my finger here quick. No, it's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. It is definitely a little bit grayed. Oh yeah. Gross. Oh, that one definitely needed to get changed. But still, on the plug, like there's not, you know, it's not that many shavings on it. So that's what it looked like before. And then I'm just gonna wipe it off here quick. Okay, so I just wiped it off, and actually that little bit of stuff that I thought was on top was actually just like a little silicone on top of the plug. Like, I don't know what that was doing there. I don't know if it needs to get put back on. I doubt it. It's just silicone, but no, that's what was on the plug. Like, that's fuck all. So I'm actually just gonna give it a quick little squeeze with so this is 75/140. Again, royal purple, kind of the best stuff that we have around here. So I just took a Q-tip and bent it and stuck it into the fill hole of the diff and kind of got my measurement that way there. 350 milliliters. I called the dealership to make sure, so because on the internet there's a bunch of discrepancy about if you fill it right up to the fill line or the 350 mils. So it actually turns out to be like 9/16, just below the fill hole there. So I don't know, I think I'm pretty close with the Q-tip. And the bottle is about 1/4 gone, so you know it's about here. If this is 1 liter, it's pretty close. So I'm gonna call it good there and throw the fill plug back in and good to go. Next we'll do the gearbox. So for the gearbox oil, just this plug right here. Kind of hard to see. Just that plug right there, the big one. And then the drain plug's underneath. So we're just gonna take this one off first. So it turns out the plug is actually just plastic. And this is what the oil looks like on the inside. It's not horrible, but it is still a little bit dark. Yeah, so for the gearbox here, so that's the fill plug right there. And then the drain plug is actually right there, up underneath it, basically right underneath it, and then down to the right you can actually see both of the holes there. And then this is what the plug looked like. So that one definitely has a bit more shavings on it. It's kind of what I thought all of them were going to look like, to be honest, but so here, I'll just wipe it off here. Yeah, so that one's definitely a lot worse. But again, like no big chunks or nothing, so you know, not that bad. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. Make sure you put this plug back in the bottom and then fill it right up to the top till it comes out the top fill. Double check all your work. Put back your little plastic piece here. There's 2 bolts, one here and one here on that plastic piece there. And then there's just like a little pressure fit right up in here somewhere. So you'll see it just pops off. But yeah, double check your work, double check your levels, start it up, go for a little ride, and even pop off all the fills again and then double check it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching.